Good morning. Good morning, Adam. Good morning, Becca. Good morning, Marty. Good morning, YouTube. Let's take a quick look here at the market and see what the market has to offer us. Looks like a six-prong captain set up long started at 23 and ran up to harmony zone number 1. Then they put on a captain setup short, six-prong, and pulled it back in. Very unique price action right now. So far, the market is out of sync. And if we start breaking anything above 46, that will lend itself to a push, and then that pushes to 51, and from 51, the market is set up for a target, a big target of 400. Here we go. So let's see how these pullbacks gonna get handled. The interesting part is how many captain setups. Like here they go. They put another captain setup, and that's a run. That's a decent one, be honest with you. So the market coiled, came tested, and coiled one more time into a run-up. That's a bullish behavior at the open with a target all the way up to 400. Sheila, good morning. Good morning, Sheila. Here comes that 400. We're not too far away. 10 points away. It's coming up. Target is hit. Railroad Captain. Yeah. I mean, Captain Railroad or Trigger Trade Railroad. Which one are you talking about? But either way, it's a runner into a big target. So you made your money on that one. Good job, Becca. Right off the bat, baby. Let's go. Market is in sync on the long side. The next target is 425. Pullbacks are viable on a swing trade basis with a target toward 425. And then target number 4 will be 443. Then target number 5 will be 481. So you got all these things kind of lined up. We'll reevaluate the longs if we start breaking anything under 360. We're not. There's a little bit of a stop run and a fade. Fade coming in. Speed, range, and behavior. Speed is moderate. Range is expanding. Behavior is long. Pullbacks are viable till proven otherwise. And we're getting a little bit of a fade coming in here. And a retest of harmony zone number 1 coming up. All right. A double top right there, a lower high, and now let's see how they handle harmony zone number 1. I mean, most likely we're going to go into a little bit of a consolidation here and a base building, and that could see the price kind of even go into the neutral zone between 365 and 50. So just kind of watch out on trying to get long. You almost need a higher low and a double bottom pattern here before we go in. Steven. Good morning, Steven. How are you, buddy? right. I mean, that's a kind of somewhat of a short behavior right here. Let's see. Yeah, you're going to get a bit of selling pressure coming through. See that? Railroad and a switch trade into a push lower. So you're going to get that 60 to the 50 range on a flush and take out the stops under that 56. And then they'll try to stabilize it. Captain set up short right here. All right, so they're rolling it over. Okay, well that's an interesting one. It's a tricky one to try to figure that one out because Captain set up, they ran it up into that 50 zone, and now they're just taking out this formation. So the market is out of sync and a little bit of choppiness going on right here. They're fading against Harmony Zone number 2 as the support. They're putting a double top up here. This has the potential of closing at 81 as long as we don't break the 40s. But we'll see. The market right now is there's a lot of pressure coming through. Here comes a stop run under 50s, 52. It's almost like the last line of defense, those two lines right here. This zone needs to hold, and that 24 needs to hold. Otherwise, we'll see ourselves coming into 300 and retesting the Globex band. Yeah, I know it's not a lot of confidence on the long side in this area right here. The market needs to act a little bit better. And we're sitting here waiting and watching and listening and learning. Not a lot of anything. Yeah, look at that. I mean, this slashing right through it and closed it. So now the market is in sync on the short side, and we have a target of 300. Rallies are shortable. No, the shorts definitely. I mean, right here, once we start digging into harmony zone number 2, we could see that the market is not showing any strength in the form of a low and a higher low. It's just, it was dripping and drifting lower and taking out stops. We're at the bottom end of the range right here, so we'll see what they want to end up doing. The market is short. Here we go, Adam. Good job, buddy. 50-point winner. Hey, it's a good decision, isn't it? Maybe we'll end up having a persistent one. I mean, obviously, you're not going to just rule out the short. See, here we go. We're going back to the globe expand that we talked about, because that's just kind of the natural flow of things. And now target number 4 is 82. Then the next target is 74, and off you go. Ain't no sunshine. Here you go. Yeah, there's no sunshine here. And no sunshine for the longs. They're getting killed. Oh, baby. That's a bleeder. Okay, double bottom behavior. They're gonna run it back up here a little bit. Look how quickly that went. All right. So a retest of harmony zone number 1 is a possibility here. Potentially we could go back to that 310. Potential captain set up long on the 70 NT Rinko at the here we go. That's it. Wow, look at that. Good for you. Let's see if we can figure it out here. An entry point. I am looking for a pullback to buy into this thing. That is a captain setup long on the 70, running into resistance. So resistance should pull back the price. I mean, the entry is 10, but you know, we'll see. 10 and 20, yeah. If I can get 10 and a quarter, man, I'll be happy. With a stop right under 93. Really, the stop needs to be under 90, but I'm gonna hold off on it for a second. Let's just wait and see. We may end up getting to 300 to retest on a little bit of a bigger push. Here we go. So that would have been not getting filled yet, but let's see. Yeah, no, it didn't fill me on that one. Yeah, okay, so that filled, and now you're gonna get that push to 300. I felt like there was a little bit more pressure here. So they're gonna go back to that 90, so that 10 would have gotten stopped out on that 90. That's a good hold. Market is in sync, back again in sync on the short side. I mean, that's what I was looking at. So see that? That's a captain set up at the top of the Globex band, and we should get a reversion to the mean. It just, once it pulls back and you have a whole number at 300, you know that it may be a little bit more vulnerable for a push. They're going to play around this level for a little bit, so just be careful. Ultimately, the goal is 275. Then the next one is 250, which is Globex. And if they trade above 311, then they're going to run up at the 30s again. It's a 90 to the 30 range right now. And they're trying to build up enough stops for the next move. I mean, here you go, a railroad short, a lower high. You should be busting through into the next move right here, which is 75. Market is vulnerable here. Target is hit. Next target is 250. So they took out the stops right under. Bottom could not have enough strength to make break the highs. So now they're just basically playing around the middle of the range. Market is still vulnerable. And choppy right in this area. But we have a target. Target is Globex. Two minutes to the top of the hour. Tentative 9:30. Okay, so we don't have much news coming up. We don't have much news. All right. Took out the stops. They're pulling it back up, challenging harmony zone number 1. They're playing around. They're playing around this top end of the Globex band, which is a normal, natural thing for them to do. Maybe we'll end up seeing harmony zone number 2 and having a high and a lower high with an entry, and then have to fade all that one all the way down to 250 from there. That'd be 100 point, close to 100 point range if they do that. And that'll be a perfect trap for a lot of the longs, is to get them sucked into this move and then making that behavior and then bring it back in. But here we go. So they're coming up to that level, and that's a stop run right now. They're taking out the shorts. Let's see how they handle this area. What are we looking for? We're looking for not to get to 360, and now we're at the top of the hour.
Time to get up and go.
I gotta take this 5-minute break here, but see, that's a good thing to see, right? Now, but we want to see a rally back up. Yeah, we want to see a rally back up, and we want to see a lower high. I mean, you know, we could have taken that one candle reversal from up there and taken it as a reversion to the mean. I mean, they're gonna play games here for a minute anyway. I'm gonna let them play around for a bit. I gotta take my 5-minute break and then I'll come back. Okay. So let's see what they've done here. I mean, here we go. I mean, a high, lower high, and then the market just spun its wheels between harmony zone number 1 and 2, and that gave us a lot of opportunity to get out of that trade, and then a stop run. $320. All right, so we're about to close the 200. I mean, that's a complete reversal. That's a complete reversal right here. Pullbacks are viable on a swing trade basis with a target of 375. So that reversal that we had to that target kind of shifted the personality. Now we have that low of 300 and that 315. That neutral zone needs to be protected in any pullback. The market does. And we have a target of 375. I mean, longs are showing the capacity to defend the higher low. So, I mean, you look at that low, and that's a higher low. So that low of 71 needs to be protected for any long toward the 400 and 400 toward a break to the 500. And we cannot argue with this market. If it wants to go up, it wants to go up, you know? So we just got to figure out what they're trying to do here. I mean, they go to 30 right now. That will shift the personality a little bit. And look at that. Oof. Oh, wow. So let's see how they're going to bounce it. They're going to try to bounce it here. Got the stops right under the 25s. That's not that strong either. Here comes the bounce. All right, so let's focus on the next trade. Focus on the next trade, guys. Focus on the next trade. The 30s. Wow. Okay, so that is a chop fest here. And then around, okay, 22. Okay, so they're pushing. I'll tell you, if they will go all the way down to that 70s, that is a big deal. That'll be a switch trade on the 200 NT-Rinka. I mean, I'm assuming that they're trying to. I mean, the market is out of sync right now. there's a bunch of stops under 300, so they've picked them off. Then we got here we go, 300. So they're taking out the stops. Okay, so they took out the stops. What are they gonna do? They're gonna bounce it, right? So they're gonna bounce it up, and if they pull back and make a higher low, then that is the higher low that we would be looking for. Look at how fast that is, though. From 300 to 25. Look at that. Come on, boys. Let's go. Okay, that's fine. Pull back. Let's see how the pullback works. I mean, you have multiple places, the 19 and the 10. The 10 is a good spot. We need, man, we need a pullback. It can't be just jumping like that. Like, see how they just hit 300 and just boom, takes off. It doesn't give you space for a pullback. Yeah, I mean, we may get a pullback here into maybe harmony zone number 1 and see how we handle that. Anywhere in the 25s to the 15s, that could be a good spot. Yeah, they're trapping both people. They're trapping the shorts, they're trapping the longs. They're making attempts at our run-ups to big targets, then they get faded. So there's a lot of that trickery going on, but it's okay. We'll just be patient and figure it out. Get into we'll find the spot here to get in. Here comes the 25s. Yeah, they're gonna bleed it here a little bit. Wow, here comes the 25s. Okay, here comes the 25s. I mean, a one candle reversal here could be a healthy entry point at 30 and then look for 40. Ah. Flatted that trade. Oof. That was a little bit nasty. I mean, it's just weak here. I actually made a tick off of that trade. I mean, it's just It's a good spot for a run up to that 40 right here. And the market just had a little bit more push to it. Almost got stopped out, but so potentially if we break anything under the 14, the market is going to be out of sync again. I mean, you got to the 40, but that it's not clean here. So from just looking at the price, it seems like we have to look for a fade against a breakout or a breakdown. That's what the market is telling us here. And why? Look, you come into harmony zone number 2 and just a one candle fade, boom. And then right here, you look like you're gonna break out. You get one candle, fade, and you're getting that. So whenever they stop run levels, and then they come to a serious support or resistance, and they flip the candle, seems like that is the best type of approach. If the market is trading in and around the middle of the range, they're just chopping people up and building stops. So I almost have to wait for a stop run and then fade it. But I rather do that on the long side, meaning let the market stop run the longs, and then I'll get in for a fade back up. Captain set up short potentially here. Yeah. Damn it. Okay, I mean, let's see what they want to do with it here. I mean, if they end up closing this, and that's a captain setup switch trade, we should be breaking into 300. I'm gonna take a quick scalp. It shouldn't have paused here. It should have just sold off. Maybe a little bit of patience will get me in for a bigger move. Yep, a little bit of patience. I mean, captain setup switch trade, that's an automatic end. That's an automatic end. So we made a little bit on that one, not much, but I'll take it. Here you go, another switch, but It's a grinder. I mean, what? They're going to put a captain setup long here at 1775 and run it back up? Yeah, they could do that. Because right here, the tempo should have been a lot quicker push. And we may get it. Here we go. A little bit of patience. A little bit of patience here. Okay. I mean, what, I made like 5 points or something, or close to it. So almost like close to an hour here. And after that, first run up and run down, we got ourselves a choppy price action. And now another stop run and a push above 50 will get the market back in sync, and then we could look for a pullback to buy into this market. So see, like in a momentum market, this reversal, that's a captain setup. Yeah, look at that. Come on, people, stop calling me. Yeah, like, that. If they put another candle up, I'm gonna jump in. What a chop fest, huh? Come on, baby, let's go. There's no way. They need to be pushing up above 40 and quickly. Here comes. Go, baby, go. 50s. I'll take that target. That's the 6-prong captain setup. It should go to 61, be honest with you. But, this is not a momentum market, so I got to take my quick profits and move on. Then look at the market and look at it 50 points higher and say, oh, I should have stayed in. Okay, we'll see that. That's the 6-prong captain setup. And I'm, with a wick trying to bust people. Yeah, you have to be very, very nimble in a market that looks like this today. Like, I'm up $300 on one of the accounts and small amount on the other one, but I mean, I mean, you put another close above 45, this thing is gonna take off. Let it run up to 60. It's gonna go to 60. I'm gonna get out of that trade. See? Like right here, that should have been in any market momentum push. I'm glad that I didn't overcommit to it. I mean, it's a 50. It needs to be 50-60 push. I mean, they're see that, push, that push into a run up, and then boom, they come with sellers, and you could see that they're trying, and then their reverse is just. Now they're gonna run it. And the run up is to 60. It's from 30 to 60, because if this fails, we're going to 90. So they got to make a decision if they want to protect this captain setup that they built here. And I took advantage of it. But the odds are we're going to go to 60. There's a whole lot of stops above the 50s. And once we pick those up, we should pop up to 60. With a stop under 30. And it should be happening like within the next few minutes. At the bottom of the hour, we're 1 minute away, and that usually brings in order flow. All right, I gotta take a 5-minute break. All right, so we're back in action here. Market is in sync, but pulling back and trying to make a higher low. They took out the stops right under this captain setup and they're buying them. So now, I mean, we're getting a sense of what type of market we're dealing with here. It's choppy. It's a stop run, and fade the stop runs in the direction of the overall trend, which is more long than short. So that seems to be the dominant force so far in this market. You go to 40. Yeah, we should be running up to 50 now. Here comes. '50s. Yeah, I'm not liking this. This is just way too choppy right here. Way too choppy. I mean, what do they want to go? They want to go to 11. If you take it to 11, that's a captain setup short on the 100 NT Rinko. Get out of here. Yeah. Okay. Choppy chop. So key is to undertrade this environment and look for stop runs to fade in the direction of the 200 NT wrinkle. We have support in and around harmony zone number 1. I mean, you break it, that's a different thing, but the market is not exhibiting any momentum or, consistent momentum in any direction. You just stop runs on both sides and taking the price to the middle of the range and chopping it. So if I try to go, for example, short here, I'm going to have to go through like 10, 15, 20 point chop fast. Trying to hold on to something for a big move, and the market is simply spending a lot of time churning, which makes it a little bit more frustrating. So you just undertrade this environment, all of it. And I mean, if they break 12, which they're not too far away from it, then that will set the stage for a captain setup short on the 100 NT wrinkle. So that's something that we could, hang our hat on and say, hey, listen, I have this captain setup. I look at that, like, okay, chop, chop. I mean, what, they want to put a captain setup long here? No. Yeah, look at that crap. Wow. That's a failed captain setup. So let's see how far they want to go with it. You have stops at that 11. That's a switch trade. We should be pushing below 15. And push toward that 10. That's so stupid. ES, same thing, very quiet, nothing going on. We have a double top going on in ES. I'd rather be short ES than being long at these levels. Failed captain setup into a switch trade. We should have been at that 14 in no time. So a stop run under 300 or a stop run above 360. Anything above and below will pick up some speed and momentum. Anything in the middle of the range where we at is going to be this type of chop fest. You even break the 12, that would be actionable. I mean, they're trying to run the stops here. We'll see how far they want to go. All right. That's a stop run. And that will take us to the 60s on pullbacks. Let's see. Let's see a pullback. Here comes the 60. Target is 375, by the way. Hit that 60 and run it down. Yeah. I mean, this story just favors the longs right here. Target's 375. And that's coming up. I mean, to put a trigger trade into a run up to target number 3 at 371.75 and 75 coming up. How's everybody doing so far across the board? Marty, where you at, buddy? Becca, Adam, Steven, YouTube, you're so quiet the past couple of days. Raymond, how are you? He's talking again? Yeah. Who's up 700? Marty, good job. 88 away from passing another eval. Good job, Becca. That's probably a good market to really play around with evaluations, eval accounts. Potential captain set up short here. So captain and the retest of it. So we're going to get a little bit of a fade in this market. We'll see how Forex wants to go. That's exactly how it looks like. But the key is not necessarily to know that after the fact, because that doesn't do you no good. The key is to recognize it while it's beginning and in progress. So this way, we all can make that adjustment. So now the question is, how do we know that the market is in consolidation? And the key to it is to know how they. One of them is how do they treat the stops? Okay, so if they constantly run stops and bring it back to the middle of the range, then spend time there. That's a sign. Speed, range, and behavior. Is the market fast? Is the market or slow? So we could say that we saw the market being slow throughout the day. So that was another clue. So clue number one, speed. Clue number two is run stops and bring them to the middle of the range and spend time in the middle of the range. Clue number three, are we spending a lot of time in the neutral zone between harmony zone number 1 and 2? That zone in a momentum market tend to get there and almost like a rubber band bounce right back off of it and run or tank depending on the direction. So we didn't see that behavior. We saw a behavior where the market spend a lot of time in the neutral zone. So that's clue number three. How long is the market taking it to complete a one candle on the 50 NT wrinkle or the 20 NT wrinkle? That's also a clue, and it's taken a long time, relatively speaking, to other days to complete a candle. So I mean, when you look at all these factors, you're coming up with a picture, and the picture tells you at least be careful. Look for fading against stop runs in the direction of the 200, and it tells you to under trade with a minimum number of contracts. What you'll find people who get trapped in this environment is they're anxious. They're anxious for a big move and they get overcommitted too early, building a position with a small stop, and the chop will get them. And I feel the rationale behind that is the fact that they're have not spent enough time with the market to recognize the nature of it prior to doing that, because they're thinking in terms of trending when the market is actually doing nothing but spinning its wheels. So look for these clues and build a picture about market behavior before you overcommit to a trend following approach. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but and it's nuanced. It's like, you almost have to be careful to start off with and then recognize that the market is consolidating, so your carefulness is rewarded. Versus gun-ho, want to go for it and want the big score, and then recognize that the market is consolidating and then get chopped up. I got 5 minute break that I gotta take, and take a lot of breaks too. There we go. 5 minute break coming up. Be back. Okay, what did I miss? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that's nasty. I mean, at least they made a move. I mean, they took out the see, they took out the stops right under that, and not only that. Hey, that's your setup, Becca. That is the setup right there. That's the one that the trade that you like. Ah, man, see these 5 minute breaks that I'm taking. This one came on the wrong time because that is perfect. One here, and then a higher low right here. Going to the middle of the range. If you survive it, then you're looking good. Another run to the 45s. Yeah, it's a bit at bottom of the range, and that 200, that 70 did not close there, but once it bounced back up to the 20, even that pullback to that 11 was an entry point. And Harmony Zone number 2 trades are just a simple trade, really. You're looking for a first touch that you leave alone, and then another retouch. Sometimes they break it, and then come back to retest, and that is also good enough. And then the perfect situation is for them to touch it, bounce, come back with a higher low, and then you have a stop of 8 to 10 points on that one candle, then a stop right under the most recent low, which is 90 in this case. And those tend to give you multiple confirmations correct. So that, I mean, coming here and looking, right? So we took a long right here and flatted that trade. We took a short once the 70 NT Rinko kind of reversed. We took a short. We made a little bit of money, and when the market flipped, we took one long up in this rotation. So you could use the 70 NT Rinko to really guide you in your entries, and especially around harmony zone number 1 and 2, and understanding that reversal. So whenever you look what they've done here, pull back to harmony zone number 1, 2, and bounce back. Nice move. The second one around, nice move. Even the third one, higher low, nice move. I took that one. Fourth one on harmony zone number 1, nice move. This is a really beautiful, beautiful move because they ran the stops right under that 300, which everybody and his mother is putting stops right under a whole number. So they take it 10 points, 10 to 12 points lower, and they set up a low and a higher low and trap everybody that's short and get rid of everybody that was long. And now they run it back in. And everybody's kicking themselves right about here. So very efficient market at deceiving the majority of the traders. So the market is in sync on the long side, and we have, the same type of deal. A big target of 375 coming up. One of the things that kind of help not getting stuck in these trades is this, really, in many ways, is the 70 anti-wrinkle. Because it gives you a 50 and the 70, be honest with you, and especially if you follow the 50 very closely. Here comes a 50, right? You'll find out that if I'm short and I want the 50 to be in my direction, and I want the 70 to be in my direction, the minute the 50 and the 70 flips, any reason for me to be in the trade does no longer exist. Because on a short-term basis, you're getting a counter. Now, will this counter reverse back in and continue to go lower? Yes. But I should not, for example, be here short and add to it at 21, add to it at 26, add to it at 32, add to it. Because you're just going to run the risk of a major move, and you're oversizing against the new dominant force. Because if I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh man, I'm going to short every rally. Then this happens. And then you start getting short. Then you start adding. It's like, wow, what's happening? And the market could literally is running the stops and then gonna most likely run the stops above 71 just to get rid of everybody. So the minute the 50 goes against your position and the 70 goes against your position, at a minimum, don't add and reduce your size and see if the market reverse. But constantly adding into a run-up that's going against you, it doesn't matter if it's a PA, eval, it doesn't matter. It's a habit, and it's a habit that tends to kill. And it's not like we all didn't do that before. We all do it sometimes. And that's even a better one, Steven. I like that. The harmony wave, if you see a harmony wave against you, most likely the 50 and the 70 are against you too. And then you know that you need to kind of get out of that trade. 1013, yeah, that's railroad long, boom, trigger trade long. But the adding part has nothing to do with the system. It has to do with the trader, not willing to admit defeat in a trade, especially if you're having a bad day and you're having a drawdown, and then you get a trade like that and it goes against you on the 50. You just don't want to give any room back, and you end up getting stuck and stubborn, and then you end up blowing up an account. We've all been there. I understand it. We're all looking for ways to improve, and the improvement is keep the 50 and the 70 in your favor. Hey, good job, Steven. That's good. That's good stuff right there. Especially in this environment, man. That's good skill. Captain set up short right here in the middle of the range. I don't trust it. Yeah. That's a no trust trade unless they break it one more time at 37, and they didn't. Yeah. Here we go. Market is in sync on the long side. We got a push toward our target. Our target is 375. The question I would have, and that's since Becca likes this setup a lot, and if as a trader, that's okay. That's okay, Steven. You made good. Take your money and enjoy it. If I don't do, like, if the trader says to himself, hey, listen, I got 5 harmony signals, right? And I want to reduce it to only 1, and I don't want to do nothing but wait for that signal to show up. What would that be? Because that means if you're selecting one signal, you're super focused. You're super focused. So if that's the case, what trade would that be? And like one of my favorites is a second retest of harmony zone number 2. That's a good one because it's a deep pullback, it's a stop run, and then the market's doing something unexpected, is to make a higher low there, and everybody's thinking short, and then the market just reverse and traps them. So that provides a lot of liquidity for a counter move higher. So that's one. Second one is captain setup switch trade. I see that anywhere. Doesn't matter, 20 NT wrinkles, 50, 70, 30, it doesn't matter. Those have multiple stop points, and it gives you the opportunity to measure your risk very precisely and go for a run. Captain setups by themselves, but if you see them on a big candle chart like a 200, 100, 70, 50, those are high probability. One of the highest probability ones are on the 50 NT wrinkle, actually. It's not time to quit. It's time to adjust, Adam. That's not the solution. Solution is because you're very close. It's just you have to look at the adjustments, the refined adjustments that are will turn the point for you. If you've been trading for a long time, I'm not saying you. I know you've been trading for a long time, but any trader that's been trading for a long time, you get punched in the face enough times. You're like, man, screw this game. I'm out of here. Okay, but the key is to come back. But when you come back with a sense of refinement. Like, okay, what did I do well? What do I need to improve upon? And what am I going to do differently? Isolate, dissect, and dissolve the patterns of behavior that have done you in. And we all have patterns of behavior that will do us in. So isolate, dissect, and dissolve that problem. The problem is recognizing when the market is choppy and you have to pull back. So if you're playing poker, and that's an analogy I love to use all the time, and you have only one move, and that move, all in, I'm all in, I don't give a crap, I'm all in, every single hand, you will get successful 9 out of 10. And that one one hand is going to take all your money out. Same thing with trading. You have to have a recognition of what type of market you're looking at. And what helps you is speed, range, and behavior will give you a clue to what type of market you're dealing with. Then ease into trading that market so you could have that confirmation internally that you're reading it correctly, then commit capital in a big way. So that means that you have multiple dial points. Like, you're not all in all the time on every single trade. You are coming in there, recognizing the market and playing 1-2 contracts, figuring that out. And now your confirmed direction is there. Then you start going 3, 4, 5 contracts and passing evals and making money. So that's variance in market read. And one of the hard ones is reading a consolidated market, but it's not something that is not doable. I mean, we kind of do it all the time. Start slow, and as you read the market better and you recognize that, you add size and you hold on to big moves, versus the idea of all in, or too much size with very small stops in a choppy environment. That does the same exact thing of killing an account. Believe it or not, taking frequent breaks every 5 minutes, every half an hour, 5 minutes. Try that. I mean, I'm not saying it to anybody specifically, across the board. What it does for me, it gives me that break in the market, and it prevents me from having a tunnel vision. And even then, sometimes I get in trouble, but at least it helps me not have a tunnel vision and seeing the market in one mode. I'll go away, I'll punch the bag a couple of times, do a couple of sit-ups, push-ups, lift weights, 5 minutes, come back. My mind is fresh, and I'm looking at, the market's doing this. I'm glad I didn't get trapped. You know, that gives you that kind of break. Market hit the target. Now next target's 400. So now they trapped enough people in this mess, and then they're gonna start trying to go to that bigger target. Trading is not a perfection. It's just it's an art and science of improvement. You are gonna fail a million times in trading. And the key is to every time you fail, I tell that to myself. Every time I fail, I need to isolate, dissect, and dissolve the issue, and so tomorrow I can come up with an idea that prevents me from experiencing that failure in that same way. And I find myself sometimes failing in the same way over and over and over. And those are the hardest ones, because maybe it's an ingrained personality trait that I'm trying to unfold. Stubbornness is one of those things that I struggled with for a long time, and it peeks its head on, from time to time with me. Tunnel vision, where I can get into a type of mindset and then get also stubborn with it. So that's another one that I'm constantly working on, trying to prevent that from being a consistent problem. We are every single trader that, if you don't have problems, you're not trading. The key is to not get frustrated, fail and improve. Don't fail and repeat the same mistakes. If you're like, everybody and his mama wants to talk to me. Okay, well, yeah. Fail and improve. Don't fail and repeat mistakes. And be kind to yourself, man. Be kind to yourself. That's the biggest thing. Be kind to yourself. Anyway, I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, but that's in trading. I gotta keep my sanity, and this is how I keep my sanity. So building a captain setup at 76 into a run up to 90 and eventually the 400. So what are we seeing here? We're seeing a grindy price action for higher structure of 400. That's target number 5. And then we got target number 6 at 434, and that would be a breakout. If that market does that, and it's inching higher. Market is moving higher. Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of bleeding going on here. Pullback, 200 and 100 are in sync on the long side. Pullbacks are viable on a swing trade basis, and we got 350 to the 40 as harmony zone number one. Speed range and behavior. Speed is slow range, still expanding toward that high of 400, and range and the behavior is long. I mean, there's a little bit of a pocket of selling pressure, but that's captain into another captain, a retest, and a pullback. So we'll see. Okay, that's another lower high. And they're taking out the stops right under 60s. So from the 90s to the 60s. If that continues, we'll go to the 30s, but we'll see. We should be getting a pullback 60, 60, 55, and 50, and we could see what kind of market we have at that point. Thanks, man. I'm still coming back next week, Adam. Next week I'm all in. The 24th is when I come back. I mean, excuse me, the 24th is when I leave, and I'll come back on the 2nd of June. All right, brother. Take care. Yep. Get better and better and better every day in every way. Get better and better and better. That's the key, buddy. And victory will be so sweet for you. Sheila, what colors are we talking about? The background colors is right click, go to indicators, and go to shadow trends and delete that one. That will take care of that. So right click, go to indicators, go to shadow trends, delete that. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Interesting push. That's a good one, Sheila. That's a good one. That's improvement. A market can be very frustrating. Potential captain set up short right here. Get the fuck out of here. All right, it's 11 o'clock, guys, and this thing is just very slow. I mean, I see this captain setup. It has potential of really breaking down to the 60s, 60, and under that. Up money on one account, down small on two others. We're gonna call it a day. Gonna call it a day. I'll come back tomorrow. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good one. Be safe.